Okay, hi everyone. So, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, let's start today's session. So, today we're gonna continue. So, let me share this. Okay. So today we're gonna see how we're gonna do the bootstrapping of Epic. So that means the initial config that we need to do for the Cisco ACI Epic. Okay, so once you start it gonna ask you some questions. After that, it gonna do everything automatically for you. So when you start it, okay, it's going to give you the wizard like this. So first of all, it is asking for the fabric name. So whatever the fabric name you need to choose, you can choose it here. Once the fabric name is decided, then it cannot be changed later on. Okay, so you need to wipe the whole fabric if you want to change this name. So whatever you want to choose it carefully. So for example, I'm choosing the same one. So I'm just pressing enter. Okay, then you need to choose the fabric ID. So if you have multiple fabrics, you can choose different IDs for your identifying the fabric. Okay, right now we are having a one, so I'm choosing one. Then how many controllers you want to place in the fabric? So as this is a lab environment, we are taking only one. So minimum requirement is of 3. Otherwise, it's gonna give you warning messages. Then pod ID is gonna be 1. So which pod you gonna select? So again, if you are putting two different ACI fabrics, then you can select the pods. Then this is standby controller. So no, this is active controller. Controller the controller ID. So right now we have one only. So again, if you have multiple, you need to choose the controller ID. Okay, so every controller needs to have a unique controller ID, which gonna start from 1 to 9. Okay, then enter the controller name. So again, you need to choose it carefully. If you it cannot be changed later on. Okay. Then the pool for tap address. Okay, so this is important. So we have our spines and leaves. Okay, for example. So as I yesterday told you guys, like we are running L3 here in the between our spines and our leaves. Okay, so and Epic is gonna be connected to our leaves. Okay, so this L3 is automatically built for you. Okay, but it needs the tap addresses. Okay, so tap address means tunnel endpoint. So actually it is a VXLAN terminology where they think or they make every leaf as a tunnel. Okay, so your tunnel endpoint. Okay, so this is gonna be your endpoint from where the tunnel starts of the VXLAN and it's gonna go till other leaf. Okay, so between your pair of leaves, all the leaves, it's gonna make the tunnels. So this all of your leaves need to have the unique tunnel endpoint, which is known as tunnel endpoint tap address, which is the IP address that ACI gonna define automatically for you, but you need to define the IP address pool, which is not used in your existing infrastructure. Okay, so you need to give that pool, and then it's gonna take the configuration from there. Okay, so this address which it gonna gives to the IP, which it gonna assign the IP from. We need to define this pool. So let's take, just give me a second, guys, just 1 minute.
Hello. The session got
Yes.
started.
Sorry.
The session is started.
Yes, it is already started. Give me a second. Okay, so okay, so we are here at the tunnel tap address pool. Okay, so this is by default, it is showing you the pool. Okay, so those who do not do annotate on the screen, let me stop that. Okay, so the tunnel endpoint address pool is gonna be, so I'm taking this one because in my environment it is not using. Okay, but you need to choose as per your environment. Okay, then the VLAN ID. So internally, ACI needs one VLAN when it's do the communication with your VMware. When you do the VMware integration with ACI Fabric, then it needs one VLAN to talk to the outside. Okay, so that VLAN you need to define it here. Again, that VLAN should be unique, which is not present anywhere in your environment. Okay, so I'm choosing the default one, which is 4. After that, it's gonna ask you the multicast address pool. So multicast, there are broadcast, multicast, and unknown unicast traffic that is going to be happen on this email, on this IP address in the ACI environment. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about in very much detail about what different type of ACI traffic that goes in the ACI fabric. So again, I'm choosing the default one. Then IPv6 out of band, so we don't need IPv6 as of now. Then, okay, so now this is what IP, so this is my out of band management network, which I need to configure to access the ACI. Okay, so to access the EPIC out of band. So again, it depends on your outer band switch and management network that you have. Okay, so for me, I have it on 172.16. So I need to give the IP for this EPIC. Okay, this one is the IP, and then my default gateway is gonna be this. Speed and duplex. So what I recommend you guys, do not change it, make it auto unless until you the other side you have mismatch. So enable strong password. Okay, so if you enable strong password, then you need a caps lock of you need a small and big characters as well as special characters and then numeric keywords and all that type of stuff. So as we are doing lab environment, I am not doing this. So now basic password I am giving you. I'm giving. So admin 12345. Okay, so once it done, so it's gonna ask you to, if you have done any mistake, you can edit the configuration. Otherwise, you can proceed with yes. Okay, I have been given the yes. I should give the no there. So let me just quickly do that same thing again. Okay, so IPv6 is gonna be this one, default gateway this. Okay, so here strong password is no. Okay, so now I need to select no here. So once you do it, it's gonna restart the Epic, and then once it is restarted, then you will be good to take the GUI from your management network, okay, from your out of band network. So initially there is no other network which is connected to ACI. Even it is connected, it's not gonna do in-band network. So you need to define the in-band network later on. Okay, so so the first way is to either connect it via console or via connected via out of band management or connected via other things. Okay, so anyone having any question and doubt till here?
Hey, Shank, question.
Yes.
You're using only one API
Mhm.
controller for this lab, right? So yesterday you said if you have only one, it will be read-only mode. Is that
So
the case?
again, yeah, that gonna be happen only when you have 3 controllers. Okay.
Okay.
So as we are just using only one, so it's gonna work read write.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. So the first time it's gonna take some time. After that, it's gonna be smooth. Okay. So now this is the interface that you got it. So I'm logging with my user ID of admin and password. Okay, so it's gonna take some time. First time it's gonna take some time for you. Because it needs to initialize all the database in the system. And once it is initialized, then it is good to go. User credential incorrect. Okay, it's gonna show this warning because I think I put added the rate. Okay, so now this is the first screen, welcome screen, which will be you get when you go with the first time. So again, it is a show, it will show you the wizard to bring the first time setup. Okay, you can do the wizard setup from here, or else later on also you can do it from other way. Okay, but before moving on further, let me try to explain you the concept of how it gonna do the fabric discovery and initialization. Okay, so I will do it for with a basic topology so you can understand. So this is, for example, my spine, and this is my leaf 101. This is gonna be my leaf 102. Okay, this is my spine, which is, again, I can give the ID. Okay, so this is just the logic ID, logical IDs or logical identifier to identify the leaves and spines. So, and my APIC, for example, is connected here. Okay, so what gonna happen in the ACI Fabric Discovery process? So let me just put it. Okay. So ACI Fabric Discovery. So I am assuming like once you do the setup of the cabling, initial cabling as per whatever the drawing you want, you got it, or whatever, if you are the architect, whatever the things you made. Okay, then you will do the initial setup dialog box that we have done just now. So initial setup script that gonna run, okay, which gonna give you the dialog box. Okay, and you give the answers. So after this, you have out of band management IP through which you log in into the fabric like we done it. Okay, so the now after this, what it gonna do? It gonna start the fabric initialization. So basically Fabric Discovery also you can say it. And how it gonna do? The first process that gonna start is your LLDP. Okay, first process is LLDP and it gonna do the neighbor discovery for you. Okay, so what gonna happen is as soon Epic starts, it gonna start sending the LLDP and start receiving the LLDP packets, and your first leaf it gonna discover. Okay, so once your first leaf, so this is gonna be first step. After that, once your first leaf gonna discover, you need to give some basic parameters to this one. Okay, which is like, for example, the name of your leaf. Okay, the ID that you want to give. So these are some of the parameters that you want to give. Okay, after you give that, then it gonna register your leaf into the fabric. Okay, so it gonna register leaf into fabric. Okay, and this is gonna be asked in the interview. So guys, if you want, you can take the screenshot or it is good. Okay, so after it done, then it gonna assign. So Epic gonna assign tap address, the pool that we give, right? So what is the pool range we give? So 10.0.0.0/16 we give it in our environment. So it's gonna assign the tap address via DSCP. Okay, so two protocols run. One is LLDP, next one is gonna be DSCP. Okay, and after that it's gonna do X. If you have any previous configuration, it's gonna put it. Otherwise, it's gonna pass it over the control to other one. So once your leaf one is gonna discovered, after that your leaf gonna start exchanging LLDP to the spine. So then spine gonna be discovered. And once your spine discovered, then it gonna discover the other leaves. So it gonna start LLDP and it gonna discover the other leaf. And then for every leaf or every spine which is gonna be discovered, this fabric discovery gonna happen. Okay, so this is gonna be happen after you discover it, your leaf spine, then ISIS process gonna start and it gonna do the provides your tap IP reachability.
Sorry, what's the tap means?
Tap means tunnel endpoint. It is the logical IP which gonna be assigned automatically via the ACI fabric to every leaf and every spine that we have in our topology. Okay, and it gonna be assigned automatically based on the address pool that we just gave in our wizard.
So it's gonna assign, if we compare it with traditional network, it's gonna assign the loopback IP and the point-to-point addresses to all the
Yes.
uplinks, right?
Yes.
Is it
So
gonna do
every
both from the same range? So it's gonna do the loopback from the same range and the
yes.
point-to-point from same range.
Yes. So point to
Okay.
point again, what it gonna do? It's gonna create the sub interfaces with the of the uplinks. Okay. So I'm gonna explain you in more detail in our upcoming lectures. But what it gonna create? It's gonna create point to point sub interfaces and it's gonna start assigning the tap addresses on there.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're gonna
So
cover why it creates sub interfaces later.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So okay. So now let's so it's gonna let's see how this process happened. Okay, so
Shank, quick question before you go further. The IS process, when it starts, does it have to discover all the spine and all leaf, and then ISS process start, or when it discovers spine?
yes, so once it discover the spines, it's gonna start its process in the background parallelly.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell you in more detail about what all thing happen in the fabric discovery. Okay, this is the introduction.
And you can't keep the loopback IP's range and the point-to-point IP range separate.
So no. So whatever is between your leaf and spine, okay, that's gonna be automatically discovered.
Okay.
So, Shank's question, would it be like if we are using SolarWinds for monitoring, so and if these Fabric leaf and spine devices are getting DHCP IPs, so would that be a problem with the monitoring, like the pooling wise?
So again, here we need to set up the monitoring. If you have a different monitoring, then you can later on set up in the wizard how you're going to set it up. Okay. And once it is assigned the IP, it is not going to change. Okay. So DHCP is just the process which we just going to assign it. But once any leaf, any spine got the IP, then it's not going to change it later on.
Thank you.
We need /16.
So again, this is what I have give. So you can give whatever you want. Okay. So there is a minimum requirement. I need to check in the data sheet where from which subnet / you can go on.
Okay.
Okay. So this is just the initial wizard. So again, there is a Fabric membership tab where you can go and you can do this thing. I can go it directly. So let's cancel it from here and let me show you from where you can go it. So into the Fabric tab. So I'm going to explain you all these tabs. Just give me 10 minutes. There's a tab known as Fabric membership. Okay, so right now you will see the 4 column, which is registered nodes, nodes pending register, unreachable nodes, and unmanaged Fabric nodes. Okay, so nodes pending registration is the one first, which is gonna be discovered. Okay, so you need to give some details and then it's gonna do it for you. So this is the first lib over which it is connected. Okay, so we need to register it. So it's gonna ask you the pod ID. So pod ID is optional. If you not even give it, that's okay. So node ID we need to give. So I'm just taking 101. So this is a identifier. You can whatever number you want to give. It gonna starts from 101 and I think up to 199 it is there. So I need to check. Okay, there is a limit of it. Then node name. So node name, you can define the node name. For example, leaf 101. Okay, role. So role is gonna be leaf. And if you have a particular rack schema and all that stuff, you can create your floor plan and rack plan and you can put it. So once you click on the register button, it's gonna start the process in the background. Okay, and after some time, you're gonna see in the register node. Okay, so status is important here. This status is of 5-6 types. I'm gonna explain you the status in next 5 minutes. So you will get some errors as well. So it depends on what status you will get it. So now you see after unknown, it's gonna start putting it into the discovering phase. And this is a one-time process. Once you do it, then it is good. So now if you see it got removed from this node pending registration. Okay. So you need to see it in the registered nodes. So now still it is doing the discovering. So the background process of LLDP, ISIS, DSCP, all these things are going on. So right now, if you see it got the IP from the pool that we defined. Okay, so it got 10.0.160.64. That is automatic. I didn't configure anything. So it got the tap address with the pool. Okay, and now if you see the status is gonna be active. So once it is be active, now you can see the leaf 1 which is active. Okay, and now it's gonna show you your spine. Okay, so in our topology, the same that I have drawn on the blackboards, that is the topology. It gonna do the discovery with this topology type only. Okay, so now this is the spine. So let's start configuring this. Okay, so you need to right click it. Okay, right click on register and then node ID. So again, I'm just taking 201 here. And then node name is gonna be spine 201. Role is gonna be spine. Okay, and click on register. So it's gonna do the same thing for this one as well. And once it is registered, then it's gonna find out the third leaf. Okay, so now it is gone from here. So it's still it in the discovery phase for the line, and you can see just the immediate next IP, it is assigned to the spine. Is there anyone who just joined today only, who is not there in the yesterday session?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, Ali. So Ali, you can watch the recording of the yesterday session if you want. It is available on YouTube as well as in the chat also. Our backend team gonna put it.
Thank you.
Okay, so now my spine is also registered. Now it's gonna see the third leaf. Okay, so so you got, so again, thank you, Sman, for putting the link. So this is the link of the yesterday recording, so that you know what is leaf, what is spine. Okay, so now it's time to configure our second leaf, which is leaf 102. Okay, so this is our second leaf. So it is again taking, it will take some time, 1 or 2 minutes to do it one. So now if you have at this point, after this, so right now in our topology, this is the topology, but if you have next a epic which is connected, for example, to leaf 2, then after this, that gonna be discovered. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so now it is also done. So it is doing the discovering process here.
So if Epic has, two connection, one to leaf 1 and one to leaf 2, is it going to use both connection active, or is it going to keep one standby?
So it's gonna use one only, and next one it's gonna put it as a standby.
Okay, and what about who's going to assign the IP address to that link? Is Epic going to do that?
So that is again, it is gonna be on the outer band IP. You need to define it. So you can define it either via SIMC, or what it can do. It can also do the port channel bonding, where the same interface IP can be worked there with the other link as well.
I didn't get that. Sorry. So the out of band interface is different interface.
Wait. Let me explain you. So give me 2 minutes. After this, I'm gonna explain you. Okay. So we have done our fabric registered of all the ports. So now if we go to the fabric policies, inventory, and topology, so first time it's gonna take some time to load to make the topology and all. Okay, so now Okay, this is the topology that we discovered till now. Okay, so this is how it's gonna work. Okay. So now the question is related to your epic ports. So so for example, if you have a particular epic model, which is having big card, okay, and okay, so now this way it's gonna connect port 1 and 2. So what is the question again? Tell me.
Sorry, the question was that one, who will configure the IP addresses between
Okay,
the
so
on
this
this link?
is
Yeah.
this is gonna be in the port channel.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's gonna work as a active standby link.
It will configure port channel automatically on its
Yes,
own.
automatically port channel will be formed automatically. You cannot even disable the port channel. Okay, there is no way to see to disable that. Okay, so
And the IP address given to that port channel on both sides will be dynamic.
yes, so there's a command which is get net bonding. Okay, so fault tolerance, active backup. Okay, this is the status, full duplex, permanent hardware address. Okay, so in this command, it is not showing you the IP and all. But again, okay, I forgot the command, but there's a command which can show you the details, okay, of that
Okay.
one.
Understand.
Okay.
Thank you.
And there are big cards where you can connect two ports as well. Okay, so those will be automatically configured in the port channel as well. So two instead of two, it's gonna be four as well. So high-end epic models, you can put it like that as well.
But the management port is separate to this, right?
Yes. Management is gonna be separate. OOB is separate. Your SIMC is gonna be separate. Okay. And apart from that, USBs are there. So let me
Can you
just show
combine
you.
the management using the WIC, or do you can only access it via out of band?
Which one?
So if you want to access the controller, can you only do it via out of band network, or can you do it through WIC as well, the IP address given to WIC?
No. So it's gonna be first of all, it's gonna be assigned the out of band IP address only, so you can access it. Later on, you can access it via in-band IP as well.
Okay.
Okay, so I just need to show you the image. So it is gonna be Okay, so this is, let me see where I will see the naming conventions as well. Okay, so see, it is having 12 to 12225 copper or fiber wick. Okay, so this is having two 10 Gbps port, which gonna be connection to your ACI switch. Okay, so this is gonna be here, which is defined in the 1 or 2. So basically two. One is the one, it is defining the WIC 12254, which is a module. Okay. And after that, that module has two ports, which is 1 gig of copper, two 10 gig of ports for connection to ACI leaves. Okay. So this is how it gonna, from here, you're gonna put it one towards one leaf and one towards another leaf. Then the third one is it is having the SIMC port, which is a 1G copper port. Fourth one, it is having a console port. Okay, and after that, fifth one, you have two 1 Gbps copper Ethernet port for out of band management, which is present in the bottom. Okay, so this is in the UCS CC220, which is a normal type of what I can
Shank,
say.
I just one have question. So, what is the difference between CIMC and out of band management?
So
Like,
CIMC is a light out management port. So again, if a lot of process is not gonna working on your Epic, then also you can be able to log into the Epic via SIMC. Okay, that is the only thing. This is the only port which Cisco started with the Nexus series. Okay, and in some of the models you will find it, but also Cisco is getting rid of this port, so you will not find it much in the future models as well. Okay, so again, it's gonna do some basic functionality for you guys. Okay, so let me show you the. Okay, so if you connect it via this, you will get the screen like this. Okay, so these are the things you can check, like your power off, server shutdown, power cycle, hard reset, launch KVM. Okay, BIOS setting, power policies. So these type of things you can do with the SIMC.
okay.
Okay, so back to the ACI Fabric Discovery. So we have stages during Fabric registration. As you can see, guys, so first stage is unknown stage, where node is discovered. Okay, but node ID not configured. Okay, so that is the first stage. So after we configure the node ID, it's gonna go into the discovering state. So where your node ID configured and discovered as well, but IP not yet assigned. Okay. Now after discovering, there are options on which it can go. So there's one option is unsupported. If you have put done wrong ACI model, which is not supported, it goes in this state, which is known as unsupported, where your node is not a supported model. Okay. And if it failed to assign the IP, your node gonna go into the inactive state, where if you have no IP connectivity, okay? Or if it is successfully assigned the IP and all, so it's gonna goes into the active state that is present in our case where we have node is active, okay? So this is how it's gonna go, okay? Now, when you are doing the decommissioning, so there is a state where from active, it can go to the disabled state where it is where when you have node has been decommissioned. Okay, so these are the different state in which your epic can go, your nodes can go, which are discovered. Okay, now let's dig dive into what is again in the process where we are having the fabric discovery. So first of all, your LLDP gonna start and it's gonna do neighbor discovery. After that, your tap IP gonna be assigned via DSCP. The third one is your node software upgrade. Okay, so if it wants a upgrade, for example, your APIC is running on the new version which is needs a upgrade, then it's gonna do the software upgrade. Okay, after that, it's gonna do the ISIS adjacencies. Okay, after that, it's gonna establish your tunnels via VXLAN. And after that, what if you have policies, it's gonna apply the policies. Okay, so now first let's talk about LLDP neighbor discovery. So in NLDP neighbor discovery, LLDP packets gonna start exchange between directly connected leaf ports and spine ports. Okay, and what it gonna check, the information that is gonna be exchanged. The first thing it's gonna go and check the infrastructure Vlan ID. Okay, the other thing it's gonna check fabric domain ID, and it's gonna check your epic UUID. Okay, and your leaf gonna, so this is the information that we filled. So first two things we filled in the epic initialization state where we give the infrastructure VLAN and we give the domain ID of our fabric. Okay, so it's gonna pass it down this information to your spine. Okay, and if for example your epic is previously assigned somewhere else and it is having a different fabric name, or if you are pulling a leaf from a different existing infrastructure, okay, and put it in your infrastructure and it is already have this information, okay, so then it gonna give you the mismatch error and your process gonna stop there. So it gonna go into the, it not gonna assign the IP and your leaf will go into the inactive state. Okay, so then you need to first clear your leaf with the help of a direct console, and then you can add it to the ACI fabric. Okay, so this is important where you need to, this is the initial information that it gonna exchange. So if it is a scratch leaf, if it is nothing is there, then it gonna take it. Otherwise, it's gonna give you the incorrect information or information mismatch error. Okay, so after this, once is this done, your agency is gonna be formed. Discovery I already told you. Then we're gonna log in. Okay, so after that we're gonna do the tap assignment. So your DORA process gonna start. via DSCP. So I hope everyone knows DORA, discover, offer, release, acknowledgement. Okay, that is a process in the DSCP. And it's gonna provide the IP from infrastructure subnet pool. Okay, so that is the IP required for the leaf or spine to join the fabric and to communicate with your rest of fabric. After this, ISIS gonna start exchanging with your neighbor switch. And all these things are automatic. And it's gonna start forming adjacency to exchange your VTAP or TAP, okay, IP address. Okay, so this is on the command line, show ISIS adjacency VRF overlay 1. Okay, so by default, all the infrastructure related thing is gonna be assigned automatically in a VRF, which is named as overlay 1. Those who don't know what is VRF, don't worry. Once we do advanced lab, I'm gonna show you. Okay. So after that, it's gonna do exchange of certificates, device. So certificate is inbuilt in the TPM chip in the device, which is gonna be issued via Cisco. So it's gonna check that. And after that, it's gonna complete all that steps and it's gonna start building your tunnels, okay, between your leaves and spines. So between the basically leaves. So spine is in between, but leaf to leaf tunnel will be formed.
Quick question. In this topology, the spines are not directly connected. Like if we have two spines, then spines are
Yes,
not.
you cannot connect even it. Okay, so yeah, I hope you are there yesterday or you just joined today only, right?
Yeah, today only.
Okay. So yesterday I told you in spine and leaf architecture of ACI, okay, what gonna happen? Your spine gonna connect, not gonna connect to each other. Your leaf not gonna connect to each other. Okay, and they need to be full meshed with each other. So your leaf gonna connect to all the spines, your spines gonna connect to all the leaves. So these are the required rules that you need to follow.
Thank you.
Yeah. So whatever the information that your Epic gonna send towards your spine and leaf, and you can check that information as well. Okay. So there is a command which is ACI diag AV read. Okay. So this is a complete information. So let me just take the first copy of it so that I show you the complete one. What is the IP we give? 172.16 0.200, right? So it's gonna do the telnet. No. What is the port number for SSH, guys?
22.
Thank you. So ACI diag FNV read. Okay, so FNB read gonna show you your complete topology nodes that you have. Okay, so it's gonna show you your leaves, your spines, their serial numbers, your IP address, all that type of stuff. And once you do AV read, it's gonna show you the parameter that it's gonna exchange with your spines and all. Okay, so here you will find a lot of things which we have initialized in our first environment. Okay, so your ID, your IP of a this one. Okay, so this is this is the tap ID address that you got, that your Epic got. Okay, 10.0.0.1. This is our pool. Okay, then this is our CISCOACI ID and all. Then time zone, etc. Domain name, which is ACI Fabric version. Okay, then appliance ID, tap address. So a lot of things you can check it here. Okay, so anyone having any doubt and question in this? Okay, so it's gonna show you the IP. Okay, so this is the IP which is gonna be assigned to the WIC card. Okay, and it is in bond 0, which is having two interfaces, which is bond 0.4, 0.5. Okay, which is right now it is showing you the IP on the bond 0.4. This is just secondary, so it's gonna change the IP once your packet gonna receive when it becomes active and all. Then this is the internal loopback, which is automatically created. Okay, it's not gonna show you. It should show you. Okay, so and this is the IP of my out of band where I put it. Okay, so this is the out of band port on which I put the IP. So this way, IP config command, you can see these things. Okay, and this number is also significant. 0.4 means it is taking the infrastructure VLAN number, okay, which is configured as a 4. So that's why it's taking 0.4 here. Whatever infrastructure number you will give, it's gonna take that one only. Okay, so after this, let's talk about the dashboard of ACI. So by default, once you log in, you will be log into this dashboard. Okay, it's gonna show you your health score. So health score is a feature in ACI which gonna show you the health score of your complete fabric. So there are two type of health score. One is your health score of your fabric. Other can be your health score of your application as well. Okay, so you can see the health score of application as well here, which is a good thing. So once you try to integrate your application with the ACI, then it's gonna show you the health score of your application as well. So this is the first tab, which is known as system tab. In the system tab, you will find the system wide settings that you need to do. Okay, so there's a quick start wizard which gonna start from here. This is a dashboard. Okay, then controllers you have in your Epic, it's gonna show you those things. Okay, like this. So it's gonna take a lot of time to load. So again, we have only one controller. And then your system settings. Okay, different system settings. So again, in our labs, we're gonna go with these settings and all. Then whatever the faults you have till now. Okay, so port down, your fall, your PSU missing, threshold console. So whatever the faults you have, and in ACI, every fault is having a code. Okay, so there's a complete list in the Cisco website with the code which you're gonna tell you about a particular fault. Okay, then it's gonna tell you about your events. So again, what is the difference between event and faults, audit log? So again, there's a dedicated class for that. But again, just I am telling you in very brief today. So just to tell you the dashboard. After that, we're gonna take every of this thing in a very much detail. Okay, your smart licensing, audit log. Okay, so this is the log that it is creating. Okay, so first we got the 101, then 102, 103. Okay, like that way. So it's gonna arrange it with the time preference. Okay, so now this is how we log in first, then we got 101, then we got this one, then this one. Okay, so like that. And then active session. So right now I am with the admin section login, and this is the session of my SSH on the console. Okay, so this now if we talk about dashboard, so you can see in the bottom with the leaves which is healthy, or if it is goes on a particular, there's a particular percentage after that it's going to show you bad and all. Okay, right now we don't have any tenants, so once we create our tenant, it's going to show you the tenants as well. And on the right side it's going to tell you the fault count, so you can acknowledge the faults, you can clear them. Okay, so there are different type of faults. Then on the bottom, you have your controller, which is available. So right now we have Epic One, which is having this IP in service state available, fully fit. Okay.
Hey,
Now
Shank,
then,
what is tenant?
so tenant is again a logical container to hold the configuration of your particular customer or particular domain if you are using it in your domain. Okay. So we have a dedicated class for tenant.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. So now, the interesting thing is when you try to check, you can click on it. And for example, this PSU is missing. Okay, so you can double click on it and it's going to tell you the detail of it. So no PSU detected. Look at the fault description. Okay, PSU is missing like that. It's going to tell you what the troubleshoot you can do, but right now it's not showing. Okay, so. mm, So now I go to one of my leaf and I click on its health. So now see it here, it is very good thing that they made. So right now, if you see 97, 97, all those things are good. I have one score which is low in equipment policy. Okay, so I click on this, it's gonna expand it for me. Okay, so now after this, I'm gonna see, okay, what is power supply group issue? So it's gonna expand it more, and that way it's gonna tell you the issue. So now if I click on here, okay, it is not going further, but there are cases where you will find a lot information. Okay, about a particular issue. So again, that is just the issue of your power supply with this one. So that failure is, that's why it is showing you like that. So endpoint, then you can go it in detail with the endpoints. So that way you can go up to the last level from which it gonna show you. Okay, like that way. So interfaces, again, there's a dashboard where you can see the interfaces. So 1 and 2 is connected to your devices. So these are your physical interfaces, then different type of interfaces which we have, which we're gonna discover and check in our course. Okay, so chasing information, you can see it, protocols. Okay, so by default, the internal fabric communication gonna happen on the VRF overlay one. Okay, so IS level, it is assigned. So in ISIS, we assigned a system ID. Again, that is not a need for us to know it, but again, it's gonna assign that things and all those stuff for you. Okay, so This is the system tab. Okay. After that, we have a tenant tab. So tenant is, again, I told you there's a logical container, so which can hold the configuration. So again, if you are running a ACI for your customers, if for example, you are a provider company and you are hosting the environment of different customers, so you can hold the configuration of different customers in different tenants. You can reuse the IP addressing space between different customers. Okay, so tenant is a logical separation of your customer space. If you are holding for your own domain, then you can make your tenants as per your business lines. Okay, you can make the tenant as per your what I can say is different departments. Okay, so it's your choice how you want to segregate the data, or if don't want to segregate, you can create only one tenant for your complete organization.
Is it
Okay.
same as VDC?
You can say like that, yes, a VDC, it can be same as your VDC. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so after this, you have a Fabric tab. So Fabric tab is gonna assign the policies. So there are two type of policy, which is access policy. So access policies is gonna be assigned on the access ports, okay, which are connecting to your ESXi servers, your other servers, or your users, whatever is there. Okay, and then there are Fabric policies that you can create, which gonna be assigned to your between your leaf and switches. Okay, so these are the two different type of policies. If you are running BGP, all that type of stuff, it's gonna go inside the Fabric policies and all that type of stuff. Okay, so again, dedicatedly we have complete week to assign, to create and assign these policies. Okay, just right now I'm just telling you with the introduction. Okay, so if you connect your ACI with the virtual environment, then this is the tab where you need to do the configuration. So now if you see, it can integrate with these four vendors. Okay, so Microsoft, OpenStack, Red Hat, and VMware. So these are the four different virtual environments. So again, if you know about hypervisors, virtual machines, all that type of stuff, so it can connect with these company hypervisors. Okay, and containers of Kubernetes, OpenShift, Cloud Foundry, it can connect with those. Okay. After that,
Sorry,
so,
when you say
yes.
connect with them means, can I see this in vCenter?
Yes. So vCenter, if you, for example, you are connecting your vCenter of VMware. Okay. So then your ACI, there is a virtual switch which is gonna be automatically create in the vSphere environment, your vCenter. Okay. So it's gonna create a distributed virtual switch for you automatically, and you can configure your VMware level settings also with directly from here. Okay, so port groups, already port groups, it can create, you can create it directly from here. Okay.
Oh, okay,
Those
this
things.
is the way all the VMs gonna talk to the
Yes.
actual switching side of. Okay.
Yes, and all those things even you can automate with the scripts, so that even you don't need to create, it can be automatically created for you. So open via OpenStack, Kubernetes, you can do the automations and all that type of stuff.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Then the next step is going to be L4 to L7 service. So if you want to connect your firewall, your load balancers, like those things, then you can connect it and you do the configurations here. So there are a lot of packages for different vendors, which comes for ACI, Cisco ACI. So you can download that package from their site, and then you can import a device package. So it can take the configuration or whatever configuration and functionality you want to add, you can add it. Okay. After that, you have an admin tab. So in the admin tab, you are doing the administrator type of works like your AAA, your firmware upgrade, your rollbacks, your configuration, import, export, all that type of stuff. Okay. So we have a lab of these all as well. So we're going to do it. Okay. After that, you have operations. So there are some troubleshooting tools or visibility tools are there, like to search a particular endpoint, to ping from particular source to destination, or to search your source or destination, your capacity dashboard, how many endpoints you have right now, how many tenants, what are your groups, all that type of things, you can see it. EP tracker is endpoint tracker. So particular endpoint you want to find, you can find it. Okay, visualization of that one, you can also do it. Okay, so these type of things you can do it from here. Then the third party apps you can integrate with here. Okay, and there's also a tab for integration, which helps in integrate those apps. So these are the different tabs we have in the ACI environment on the Epic, which can help sorry, which can help you to connect it and to configure the things as per each of the dashboard. Okay, so anyone having any doubt and question till here? Okay, so after this, we're going to discuss about the protocols, but let's take it on the next weekend. So next weekend, we're going to start with the topic where we will discuss on the protocol side, where we're going to discuss about different protocols that we're going to run. So for example, ISIS, what is underlay, overlay, and what is VXLAN, how we're going to use it in this. So details of VXLAN and your other protocols which are running in the ACI environment. Okay. So thank you guys for joining today's session. So let's meet again on the next weekend on the Saturday, 6 p.m. IST.
Hey, Shank,
Thank you all.
can I ask you a question?
Yes, please.
So let's say, probably you will cover this later, but let's say I have 2 spines and like 16 leaves. And let's say all of a sudden one spine goes dead and I get a new spine or replacement, I connect it. Will the configuration automatically propagated, or
Yes,
do I have to
it's gonna be
manually?
automatically
Okay.
propagated. So here, even if your one of the leaf goes down, okay, so the configuration is also automatically propagated. If one of your epic goes down, you just need to initialize with the default settings that we have done it. After that, everything is gonna be automatically downloaded.
Okay,
So
perfect.
it is plug and play directly. Even if you add a new spine, then your configuration is automatically replicated. You don't need to do any configuration except this fabric discovery. So you need to do just one time discovery. After that, it's going to take your complete information automatically.
Okay, but I have to do the port configurations, right?
No, you not even don't want to do the port configuration. You just need to do. So see, after, for example, you have connect one spine. Okay. So it's going to show you here in the inventory in the fabric membership as node pending registration. Okay, so you just need to do the registration that like the way we have done it. Okay, so you just need to give that node number, node name. Okay, and then after that, everything it's gonna take it out from your different spines, your rest spines, which are already present in the topology. You don't need to configure a single port.
Yeah. Okay, but if I replace or add a leaf, then obviously I have to do port configuration because
if you are
endpoints.
doing a replacement of your leaf,
okay,
then you don't need to do anything. Okay, because again, if a faulty replacement you are doing, it's gonna hold the configuration. So again, your configuration is gonna be stored in the spines.
Oh, as long as I provide the same leaf ID and number, then okay, got it. It saves the configuration and just so I don't have to back up the configuration and like traditionally we do. We don't have to do that. Okay.
Yes. Okay. If you are putting a new leaf and that leaf is not a exact replica of any existing leaf, then first time you need to configure.
Yes.
It, right?
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
But if it is a replica of some leaf, then you can take the configuration as well. So again, there are a lot of automation step which is automatic already inbuilt. So it's gonna help in putting those things already for you guys. So you don't need to do a lot of configuration here.
Yeah, that makes life easier. Good.
Yes, even we have a templates feature. Like we have, once we create that policies via templates, then those will be reusable. You can reuse anywhere, and then it gonna your port gonna be up within 30 seconds. Okay, so you don't need to configure the things again and again. So one time you need to configure, and then it's gonna be good.
So one last question I have is, let's say I have a leaf and I have, for example, I need to connect 10 top of the rack switches, which again, I can buy a 9300 Catalyst or a NEXUS itself. What do you suggest? Those top of the rack switches should become like a leaf, or I can connect those 10 switches to a leaf? with the
So
trunks.
so those cannot become leaf first of all, because leaf
Mhm.
is having a particular model. Those can only become leaf only. Okay, which are running your ACI code. So first of all, that is thing. Second thing is, I also not recommend you to connect your top of the rack switches. If you are having capacity issues, just buy the new leaf. Why
New
you
leaf.
need a
Okay.
top of the rack leaf? Okay. So
Okay.
you need to
Perfect.
buy the leaf, because again, ACI is gonna run only on the supported models that we discussed yesterday.
Okay.
Okay, so the only scenarios where you are connecting your existing L2 environment is when you are doing the migration, or else right now you are not ready to migrate your particular domain or particular L2 environment. So you are just connecting with the ACI Fabric to provide the connectivity. Okay, but to connect the switches to the ACI leaves is not recommended. Okay, even it has the support to connect fax as well, 2000 Nexus 2K, but again, right now Cisco is getting rid of it. So right now,
Yeah.
even you will not find those models to connect with the ACI. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. They're already dead. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay then.
Thanks.
Any other question, Firoz?
No, that's it. Thanks.
Okay. So thanks a lot everyone for joining today's session. So hope to meet you next weekend. Okay. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.